just killing each other. They're
Yeah.
male. They're male dogs, bro. I've never had male dogs. I've always had female.
Ah,
Fuck's that?
That's
Who's
that's
that?
Aubrey, the
it's Don
referee.
Stevens.
Who?
It's Aubrey Edward.
Who's Don
They
Stevens?
Don Stevens is or is it still an account, Ben?
I guess, man. It was
So
a weird account that YouTube was flagging everybody's AEW shows underneath, and this alias Don Stevens came about, and it was stooge that she may have been the alleged Don Stevens. So,
Let me ask you a question. Okay, so let me finish this real quick, Ben. So here's my thing. My dog's fucked up my chair. My chair goes to the right or to the left, depending on how you're looking at me. My fucking chair does not recline anymore, right? And I gotta put a fucking neck pillow back here for neck support. So my question is to all of our friends out there: if you have a comfortable chair that you can recommend me, I'd like you to send me a link. All right.
Well, you
Um,
just go on Amazon, look it up, and they have all the chairs there, and they can
yeah, but they
you
sometimes they
pick whatever
suck.
chair.
Like
yeah, they
I've
do,
been
bro.
through like
I've
6
I've
chairs,
gotten
dude.
five
Yeah,
chairs from Amazon. None of
I
them
yeah.
have
got I
worked.
got this
I've
chair
even gone to
at
fucking. Well,
Office
you were
Depot.
lucky, dude. I know. You're the smartest guy in the world.
No, I'm
Everything
just
you do
saying, go.
works out first. The
You,
first time you do it, you never have to go back and
this is very
choose or
simplistic. Okay,
option.
go to Office Depot.
Right?
There's tons of
I
chairs like
did.
this,
I
and
did.
shit, and
I
test them.
did. I did go to Office Depot and I laid in it and I go back into it. And this is the one they fucked up from Office Depot.
Well, go get another one.
Bro, they don't have the same chairs all the time.
You know what you
It's a
look up,
fucking pain in
Conan?
the ass.
Instead of looking
This
up
chair will not be there. Yeah.
instead of looking up office or desk, look up video game chair. And there's always really comfortable chairs
What
for
did I
the.
used to have before? A video game chair.
Oh yeah, you did. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anybody out there that wants to help, please send some
This
recommendations.
is an embarrassing uh, for you right now.
Jesus.
No, it's not embarrassing. It's
It's bro, you're
embarrassing because you're
asking
a
people to
dick.
help you find a
Well, it's
chair.
a
No, I'm not asking them
recommendation.
to pay for it.
Yeah, he's
I'm
not asking
asking
I
you
them
know
to pay
to
that,
for
but
it.
recommend one.
the only way
How?
you
What's
recommend
embarrassing
chairs
about that?
because everybody that gets a chair goes and sits in it
Okay,
themselves.
you want me to do what you want. I'm going to do what I fucking want. How about
Okay,
that?
if somebody recommends a chair
Right?
and you don't sit in it,
Right?
you order the chair and get it sent to you, and then you sit in the chair and it's uncomfortable. Whose fault is that?
Well, that's mine. But I'll take that.
Okay, and
I will
that's
take that
ridiculous.
risk.
All right.
Bro, listen, I've gotten 3 chairs from Office Depot, 3.
Mhm.
3 off of Amazon. And all of them somehow broke or the dogs broke it or just after a while something breaks on it.
Yeah, the quality of everything is shit. How often do you
Yeah,
buy a
there's
new
got to be a
refrigerator?
good chair out
Well,
there.
how long? I mean, everybody always gets new chairs after a certain period of time.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, but
Yeah.
this one's all fucked up. Anyways,
So what's
so if
going on,
anybody
Ben?
can help me out there, thank you. And what's that dazed and confused behind you? What is I think I've seen what is that?
yeah,
Pineapple
man,
Express.
it's
Oh,
good. I'm just I'm in the backstage at the dispensary right now. So just
Yeah.
I know, but what
just
is
some
dazed and confused? Is that a movie? I think it's a
yeah,
movie, right?
it's a late '70s, early '80s stoner movie.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, Matthew
It's
McConaughey. All right, all right, all right.
Okay, Pineapple Express, definitely seen. Okay,
yeah.
let me ask you this one. Tell me that you what where's the
Cheech and
Chappelle?
Chong. Nice dreams, Cheech and
Saw
Chong.
that. Saw that. What did you think that the very first Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke?
Oh, I mean, classic, dude. And I like,
Super classic.
yeah.
Can I tell you my favorite part? And there's a lot when they're
is
stuck
it,
at
is
the
it when
stop.
is it when they go to Office Depot to buy new chairs?
No, it's when they're stuck at the stoplight and
yeah,
they think they're going. They,
no,
at the stop
no.
sign, there's a stop
Yeah,
sign.
the stop sign.
Yeah, they think they're going really fast, and when you look up, there's a stop sign right in front of them. That's
I've been in contact with Tommy Chong's,
really.
I
Oh
guess,
yeah,
nephew-in-law who does their bookings. I've been trying to see about getting them into New York State and hooked up with some of the processors here to hopefully, get them a deal to release their own line in New York. And,
those are the
wow.
OG Godfathers, bro. They were making pop
Kings.
movies before anybody else, right?
Yeah.
That's been their gimmick. They've gone to jail. I mean, those are the pop Godfathers.
For a while, Tommy was just on his own too, but recently, in the last 2 years, they've come back together
I'm
to
glad.
release their own glass.
Did you ever
line
hear
and stuff.
any of their old comedy albums?
Oh yeah, the Dave's Not Here
Hilarious.
Man stuff. All that
Right,
stuff was
right.
great.
All that stuff was great.
Yeah.
And of course, the classic of all classics, Airheads. Is that what it was called?
Oh
With
yeah,
old
yeah.
Chappelle,
That's like the
Half
metal.
baked. Half baked. You
half
mean?
baked,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
half
sure.
baked.
But an interesting week talking about that last week with Jim Brewer saying that he doesn't believe Dave Chappelle is really Dave Chappelle. And you can go back 5 years on Conspiracy Horseman, and I've been saying that exact same thing as a guy who came from comedy, who watched Chappelle since he was 17 years old. And then whatever happened that made him bug out and go to Florida. And then he came back, did that Inside the Actors Studio in Oprah. And I think that was the last time we ever saw the real Dave Chappelle. And he's been,
But what do you think happened?
I think they got an impersonator and took him out, bro. Like they
He's
gave him
eliminated.
$50 million for his
Chappelle show.
right? And then he didn't want to do the dance that Viacom and Comedy Central made him do. So they said he went crazy, bugged out to Africa to
Smoke crack.
came back.
Wait
But
a
now,
minute. Wait. Let me ask you a question. So,
What?
unless I'm misunderstanding this, Ben, so you're trying to tell me they kind of got a doppelganger, right? That it
Yes.
isn't him, and this guy has the same "Hey, how you doing" voice,
Yeah,
and
sure.
on top of this, is as funny as Chappelle was. Bro, that type of
there's the
humor.
caveat. I don't think he's nearly as funny. And if you have I
You're
think
right.
you have
You're
a
right
keen
because the
comedy eye.
last Netflix was not that funny, but
And
not
he's doing
everything's gonna
things
be
like
funny.
he's doing things like hit the mic tap after a joke that's not funny because that's an opera conditioning thing that he would do beforehand. So little tricks that like are Chappelle-esque, but the quality's not even there, like the baby selling crack bit, right?
Right.
And it seems like someone doing an impersonation. And then even like 3 or 4 years ago, his sister,
Well, why wouldn't his mother come out and his family
cousin
come
said
out?
that his cousin said that they used to talk every month. She hadn't talked to him in 2 years, cut him off, and
But how come other people haven't come out with this like Cat Williams? Because he don't give a fuck.
Jim Brewer just did, and
What'd he say?
he said that he doesn't call or talk to him anymore, and when he saw him or when
Well,
he
that
sees
doesn't
him,
mean nothing. That
well,
just
but when he
means
says he
maybe
sees him, he says, "I don't think it's the same guy.
really.
It's not the same guy who
But do
I
you
did the
think he
movie."
means maybe mentally, but also physically?
Dude, there's a picture like right after that time where they showed Chappelle, or allegedly Chappelle, all gassed up, right? His shoulders were 4 inches wider, his
Right.
skin tone was
Yeah,
lighter, the
Yeah.
head was different, and then you didn't see him perform. So for 2 years, I think they were just conditioning and driving and training him to be a Dave Chappelle doppelganger because I grew up on that dude since he was 17. I used to watch him on MTV Half Hour Comedy Hour in 1992 or 3.
Right.
And
when he was
I
real
totally
skinny.
get it. Yeah. So if you know
He could have gotten on the
comedy with a
juice.
keen eye and you see things that it just didn't seem right to me.
Right.
Like the evolution of a comedian and where they would go. I just saw a lot of stereotypical Dave Chappelle moves with not a lot of quality written shit in there.
Bro,
And that made me go,
okay, but I'm gonna,
You know,
I'm gonna,
I've-
call, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna. Let me stop you right there.
Throwing a
This
flag.
is very, very, very easily verifiable in the year 2024. Okay, with the use of like AI and stuff, where you can get an image and superimpose it and stuff, and see if it's the same guy. I mean,
yeah,
it's easily
I
verifiable.
would agree.
Or even
And
easier. Or
I
even
would say
easier.
his skin tone's different. Usually when
but
guys get
bro,
on the
it's not-
gas,
You could do.
you
You
know,
could sit there.
but his whole structure of his body was
Okay, but
different.
here, Ben,
Hey,
here's
but
it.
here's the thing. Well, let me say,
Yeah.
you're saying you're talking from things that are to the naked eye. I'm saying with with computers and technology and everything, we can take beyond the naked eye and verify this, and superimpose on another thing and
Yeah,
everything.
ear
Let me give
and
you.
nose
You
and
can
all
Let me
do
give
that.
you
right,
two.
right,
Let
of
me.
course.
Are you
So
done,
so
Discord?
so
or
I
you-
would say whoever's forwarding this conspiracy theory, do that, and that would be easily provable.
But
You know?
here's the only two things I would add to that, Ben. Because I always keep an open mind on everything, but when you give me information, I tell you, okay, what are the first red flags that come up,
Sure.
right? Two things. Very easy. Do a DNA test. Boom. Two, bro. So some doppelgangers coming to his house and sleeping with his wife and hanging
Right.
out with his children, and they're not tripping and they're not saying anything about it.
Well, I think those are great points, absolutely. And all I can do is say something doesn't smell right. And then 3-4 years later, while Jim Brewer's on Roseanne's podcast, and Roseanne has been through the grinder how many times, and they're saying things where they're like, he got visited and corrected by those in power.
Now that I could believe maybe more, yeah, because
right. So
check yourself,
when
cut saying this, okay, and mentally fuck with both of them, because you see that happen to a lot of people, bro. One of the funniest guys I ever saw, one of the funniest shows to me to this date is Martin. I thought that
there
was
you go.
hilarious,
There's another perfect
There's
example.
another
right?
guy, fucking millionaire, famous, smart, witty, losing his fucking mind, walking around LA, fucking talking to himself with Sherm.
With a gun.
Yeah.
How many Disney girls that
Right.
were conditioned and then they end up shaving their
Hollywood's a
heads and
bitch.
being pretty like
Yeah.
there's something bigger going on. And when sure we can go by a case basis, but when the people in Hollywood, and that's rare, no one would really step out of line like Brewer just did and say those
And
things.
you know what's
Only
kind of
some
funny, Ben, when you kind of
extreme
think of
podcasts.
it, sorry to cut you off.
Sorry.
Ben Hagreen is what is that? What's that?
I'm at the
Instead of Ben
dispensary, dog.
Hamid,
I'm the new
Ben
king of
Hagreen.
weed, baby.
Okay, I love it. I
That's
love
great.
it. Okay. So fuck, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
Chappelle, Martin.
Yeah, no. But I was gonna you know what's kind of a microcosm of Hollywood? The wrestling business. How many people have left this fucking place fucked up, doing fucked up shit? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's very
Well,
weird.
guys-
inside the really, they do their most fucked up shit inside the bubble while they're over and not in tune how the rest of the world is, right? So
Right. Look at just, for example, we were just talking yesterday with Joe that he was watching Sandman on the Dark Thing of the Ring. Me and Disco refused to watch that or even contribute to it.
yeah,
And bro, it's just, you see, and it's sad, all the wrestlers, and there's a ton of other wrestlers they haven't even gotten to.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's the island of misfit and broken toys, carnies,
Right.
queers, and addicts in the entertainment business. Get used to it, kids. If you think this is Joe Blow normalcy, you're in for a rude awakening, right? So the fact that they're talking about Chappelle being corrected, or after they give you this money and you
Who's talking about this?
Jim Brewer
Jim
and
Brewer.
Roseanne.
It's and
two
Disco. I've
people-
heard that.
Jim Brewer was in that movie with him. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
in Saturday Night Live. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I've heard this for a while and never looked into it because I was like, that's fucking weird, But yeah, this is
But
the
what have you
thing.
heard?
Dave
Like,
Chappelle, that he was cloned and
This-
eliminated.
And if you go and watch the another thing that stood out was when they had the Def Comedy Jam 25-year reunion. Very strange behavior throughout that. Every time they cut to him, seems. I mean, obviously the guy smokes hella weed or
people
is
get
known
old
to.
and they change. I mean, look at that recent, like whoever like Madonna, like she had facial. Who is that? I'm like, I didn't even know it was her. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
who's Lady Gaga? Who are any of these completely manufactured by Sony entities that are to lead a pop culture revolution of sexual misfits into whatever they want to, right?
Like remember when like Britney and Christina came out in the late 90s and they were wholesome. The songs were wholesome, but they were still dressed up like teenage sluts basically. And then like
now we have Cuties on Netflix. You think things are on the declining
now
scale?
Britney's gone nuts.
Yeah, and Christina, the next album came out, and all of a sudden she was like way slutted up, like
But
the clothes, the music.
You're very right.
A Christian singer ends up shaving her head, having MK Ultra meltdowns on stage. This Amanda Bynes, the list goes on and on. It doesn't matter if it's NSYNC, the Backstreet Boys, any of these assholes.
What do you got?
They're
What do you
all
think?
molested children who came through Nickelodeon and Disney and were groomed for that specific purpose. They don't have real talent. They don't write their own songs. They can pick any asshole out of the mall and make them into a star.
What do you think about Eminem? And that's for like everybody, because when he came back from his little getaway, like he seems a lot weirder and stranger and looks different and acts different, and maybe like he came out and rapped against Trump, and it's like, is this Eminem? Like this guy?
Yeah, right. Like
that's
he's
weird.
Like this is the getting corrected, and even the illusion. And Conan, you're right. It is just like wrestling, especially when it comes to hip hop, right? Like nobody's out there really in the streets from NWA gunning guys down with an AK-47.
Well, look at Puff Daddy.
Yeah, buffed it. Or look at the Tupac footage that just came out where he's, he's, where he is a theater kid at 17 years old talking with a list. You know, like this is an entire fake industry.
Tupac, because I'm pretty well versed on him.
Yeah.
Tupac became Tupac when he was filming the movie Juice.
Yeah, before that, he was a backup dancer for Digital Underground.
Exactly.
I had Sex Packets in 1991. I know you're a hip.
You got good taste, my friend.
Yeah, go back and watch.
Bro, Digital Underground, very, very, very underrated group.
Oh, Shock G was awesome, bro. So was Money B. Yeah. But then go back and look at Dr. Dre and Disco Dre with no streets and but they're gangsters now. Like they're out here killing people. It's all an illusion. And most recently, former CIA op came out and said all that was engineered by the CIA to take to black culture, to have them killing each other in the streets. And then what does it do? Bolsters the for-profit prison system so you can keep people in some type of servitude and slavery and make money off of them.
Not to mention the whole scandal of the CIA dropping blow all over LA.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question because obviously you're on the Vince Russo show. For those of you that are seeing Vin for the first time, he is a friend of the show. Vince has a couple of takes that I wanted to ask you what your take was on it. Okay.
Sure.
The first one was he put up a thing where Sheamus was all red across the chest. And he goes, yeah, they're still doing hazing in WWE. I'm going to tell you what I think. What did you think about that comment? Did you agree or disagree?
I very much agree. Because he had said that he was on injury and didn't know he was coming back, right? Like he didn't have time to prepare. And like 2 weeks now, anyone in this business say, you got to stay ready. Well, I stay ready by being a fat fuck and not having to worry about being in shape. So don't ever show me you're in shape. You'll be fine. But so he came back and they make some hamburger jokes and all that stuff. And it's not like they had a program with this. So now they're rewriting the next week on the fly. And what's he doing? He tweets that since that, you guys tease me, I've been in the gym nonstop. So he's in the bubble. They're in his head, right? And he's got to lose this weight that he put on. And instead of letting him do that and come back looking good, they put him in a 30-minute, let's blow him up for fun and make it funny to see if he can go while he's like that.
I'll completely
hold on one second, please. And the guy's had a major spinal injury, and he's Triple H's hand-selected boy. Now you're going to fucking throw all that aside and take a chance on a guy who's given you his entire career, had an incredible career, and put him in a place where he might be injured because he's out of shape because you think it's funny to blow him up because you want to show everybody in the back that you got to stay in shape or your spot could be gone, that nobody's safe. Even Sheamus can get ribbed. And no one ever has to say anything, and everybody knows that what's really going on with punishment / half jokes. And when everyone goes, it's the Triple H era, it's a new day, it's all this, and you're doing that to your boy, that to me is petty, small, and the same old good old boy politics is still going on, bro.
I'm going to disagree with this. First of all, the thing that put Sheamus on the map the past few years was the match he had with Gunther at the pay-per-view.
Sure.
It was the first 5-star match Dave Meltzer's given it in the WWE forever. I mean, dude, you wrestle. Everybody that wrestles Gunther gets chopped in the chest. Well,
Yeah.
why is it like they probably thought that this is Gunther versus Sheamus because their history? This is a draw for television.
Coming off of those ribs, I gotta disagree.
You actually think the motivation for him to have that match, period, was because he's gonna Gunther's gonna chop him a lot.
That's a good point, Di, no doubt. But let me put it to you this way, real quick. How about the fact that they want Gunther to be the guy and they want to trust him, and they'll go, make sure you lay that shit in there, which means this is in a called in hit without having to do that. And that match was there.
Wait a second.
But let's bruise him up and blow him up with chops where it knocks the wind out of you. And we're not.
Let me interject for a second.
His whole shtick is banger. He has bangers. That's his gimmick.
Now
We're
you
gonna-
come back
we're gonna
looking
hit
like
each
you
other
have
hard and
ate,
stuff
ate
if
a
we
super
go.
value meal every day for the last 3
I know,
months,
but
right?
that's another
Like,
thing too. I didn't know that he didn't really look as overweight as everybody was making it sound like.
because I think the last 2 weeks he's been on a crash anorexic diet and in the gym
Well,
24/7.
even when
Ozempic
they
or
made the
whatever.
burger joke, I was looking. I was like, he doesn't look fat. I mean, he's always been thick. You know, he didn't have like a
He
pot
just
belly.
he looked soft,
Yeah.
is what he looked.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
Yeah,
no.
his ass is way
let,
smaller.
let me just say this:
Again.
his ass is way smaller. Is that what you're looking at, Joe?
I
Jeez.
was just trying to get something in
Not
there.
even funny. Okay. Okay, so but here's the thing. What you said, Ben, I would have been in total agreement if Vince was still there. Hear me out. Um, I've talked with enough people from, I don't need to say the names, but I've talked to at least 10 people in WWE that I consider really good friends, right? And they all tell me the same thing. This is a different place now. They don't fucking they give you more liberties, they let you more time away. They don't try to now obviously um uh what's this guy's name? Sheamus. Bro, he's pasty skinned. Of course, when he's chopped, he's gonna look like raw meat. But
Sure.
I've seen other guys wrestle Gunther because he's got like a 10, and they have white skin, and they get the fucking same deal. I looked at the match. It did not look like he was going to business for himself or trying to hurt him or teach him a lesson. It was just a real physical match. And I believe maybe that we're still a little bit stuck in how it was, and it isn't like that anymore.
Cool.
Because I've
I
talked
think
to enough
those are
people.
valid points. Those are
Because
valid points too.
the only
Let
reason,
me tell you this: is Bruce Pritchard still there?
yeah,
Is Triple H still there?
yes, but I don't think Triple
Then
H would do
then,
that to
then
him.
Vince McMahon is still there. That's all. That's how I quantify it. There's no after every night of every show, Bruce hits that car and he is right on there, bro.
Right, because he's a
Giving the
loyal
Stooges more right.
person. But at the end of the day, the doesn't doesn't Hunter make the final call? If Bruce were to say,
I
"Hey
would say
Hunter,"
no.
I
I would say no. He
no.
doesn't.
Why at this
Who do you
point?
think does? The Rock?
Probably has to go up through that. I mean, you got to get through Nick Khan. You got to get through
Ari.
Bruce's.
But do you
like
think a
Howard
Nick
Hammer.
Khan or an Ari Emanuel even gives a fuck about that and is gonna say, "Hey, this guy came in out of shape. Yeah, it's cool
Teach
to
him a
beat him up."
lesson.
I don't know if they give a shit about it, but they're not saying no and they're letting it happen. And isn't the complacency of that possibly aligning with guilt that there's an inner circle that does whatever the fuck it wants to do? And if it's the old school wrestling mafia rules, then those rules still apply. Because I don't see why you would ever take somebody who's your hand selected guy who's given you that amount of time, regardless if you're in a feud or not, and risk that injury on him by making him do that. And if you wanted to do a run it back with him and Gunther, I would want to wait till one of the guys is in the best shape possible to give you another banger instead of watching him get blown up out there and get his tits chopped to shit just so the boys in
You
the
know
back.
what, Ben? You know
I
what,
would
Ben?
profess.
Go ahead.
I would profess that you have a better case of that based on what you did, like the hazing and stuff, everything. You have a better case that I would say there's more evidence that AEW is hazing Jericho.
You might not be wrong there either.
Because bro,
You
look,
might not-
if you're looking at the match with Sheamus and Gunther as hazing, what about that match with Shibata and Jericho, where they
Yeah, like
literally
Nah, but
chopped each other for like 10 minutes straight?
and I felt that match was a response to that a little bit too. WWE is doing a lot of stupid psychology that AEW is doing. Like the
Like
week
what?
after, they're almost doing this some of the same spots that are completely heels, like
Could you
trying
give
to
me
fire up
one?
the crowd. Babies coming in to do revenge attacks. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
All right.
What's the
If you
benefit
can
for?
think, if you can think of one example, give it to me because I haven't connected any of that. I just want to say to end this the Sheamus thing. I think all three of us make viable points, valid points. I'm going to actually ask some of the boys because they would know. Like you, the dressing room always knows what's going on, bro. All they do is, you got any hot news? Yeah, you know what's going on. So I'll find out from there just to see what's